In this session also we are continuing the same lesson, Federalism. In this session we are going to discuss about how is federalism practiced in our country, especially the formation of linguistic states and the language policy following in our country and the center-state relationship. You know that the real success of federalism, it is not only because of the constitutional arrangements and it is necessary, but also the success, it is because of the democratic politics in our country, the nature of democratic politics in our country, the respect for diversity and the desire for living together, that all became the shared ideals in our country. Let us discuss with how federalism practiced in our country with the creation of linguistic states. We can see that when we are starting our journey in the year 1947, the areas that existed in our country or the boundaries was changed a lot when we are comparing the map of India in 1947 with that of the recent map. Let us start with the creation of linguistic states. We can see that when we started our journey in the year 1947, the boundaries of our states, it was changed a lot. And we are comparing the political map of India in 1947 with that of the recent map, we were surprised to see that a lot of changes were there. The boundaries of a lot of areas, it was not there, and many old states were vanished. A lot of new states were created, and we can see that it is all based on a lot of different factors. The creation of linguistic states was a major step towards the federal practice in our country. This was done to ensure that the people who spoke the same language should live in the same area. And we can see that a lot of other states also formed. It is not on the basis of the language used by them. It is based on the differences of culture, ethnicity, geography, etc. For example, Nagaland, Jharkhand, etc. When the demand for the creation of linguistic state was raised, a lot of political leaders, they were resisted. They felt that would lead to the disintegration of the country. For a time, the central government also resisted the same. But the experience has shown that the formation of linguistic state that united the people, at the same time made the administration more easier. So, once again, the creation of linguistic state was one of the most important steps taken by the government for the success of federalism in India. A lot of new states were formed, all the states were vanished. Linguistic states were formed on the basis of the people who spoke the same language. And it was not only on the basis of the language, it was also based on ethnicity, geography, etc. Example, Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. And the next one is about the language policy. This is the second step taken by the government for the success of federalism in India. We can see that our government or the constitution, it did not give the status of national language or the status of national language to a particular language. Hindi is identified as the official language. But we can see that only 40% of the people spoke this language in our country. So, there were a lot of safeguards to protect other languages. Besides Hindi, 21 languages were recognized as scheduled languages. You know what are scheduled languages? The 8th schedule of our Indian Constitution confusion, list the official languages of India. The peculiarity of these scheduled languages are: a candidate who writing the examination for the central government position can write the exam in any of these languages. There is a peculiarity of scheduled languages. And these are the scheduled languages: Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, then Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Santhali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu and Urdu. These 22 languages are known by the name scheduled languages. And the candidate can write the examination, mainly for the central government position, can write the exam in any of these languages. And we can see that the use of English, it was stopped in the year 1965. But a lot of states, they demanded to continue the use of English. And in Tamil Nadu, it took a violent form. Later, the central government responded by agreeing to use the English language along with the Hindi. And many of the critics, they demanded that would prosper the spread of Hindi language. But one thing is there, that the central government cannot impose Hindi on the area where the people spoke a different language. Here we can see that the political leaders, they shows a flexibility. This flexibility showed by the political leaders helped to avoid a lot of problems related to language. So once again, language policy, it is the second important test for the success of federalism in India. Hindi, it is identified as official language, but along with the Hindi, we can use the languages using by different states. They can use the language, the same language in their own official documents. And besides Hindi, 21 scheduled languages are there. Candidates can use any of these languages for central government positions. Then they can use English along with the Hindi. And the next one is about the center-state relationship. Actually, restructuring center-state relationship was one of the most important steps taken towards the success of federalism. Actually, the success of federalism lies in not only in the constitutional arrangement, but also how the political leaders follow these arrangements. For a long time, the center and the state, it was ruled by the same party. Here we can see that the state government, they cannot they cannot exercise their rights as autonomous federal units. And after that, we can see that center was ruled by one party and the states were different. Here, one thing is there, that the central government tried to undermine the powers of state governments. So here also, the central government, they are misusing the powers for dismissing the autonomous federal units. And after 1990s, we can see that a major step, a significant change was happened. That was the formation of coalition government. You know what is coalition government? In an election, when a single party do not get a clear majority to form the government, more than one party will form an alliance and they will form the government. That type of government is known by the name coalition government, and through coalition government that led to a new way of power sharing arrangement. Here we can see that this year the power sharing or the federalism, it was too much effective in the recent years than earlier. So, center-state relationship, We can see that one of the major steps taken towards the success of federalism, and central government, they cannot undermine the powers of the state or dismiss them. Then, what undermined the spirit of federalism? To some extent, the center misusing the constitution to dismiss the state government that was controlled by rival parties. And later, coalition government led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of state governments. I hope the session is clear to you. Let us have a recap about all things we have discussed in this session. Practice of federalism in India, mainly the linguistic states, the language policy, the center-state relationship. Then comes to the assessment area. How are the changes made in power sharing arrangement of a country? The constitution did not use the word federation, but the Indian Union is based on the principles of federation. Explain the statement. Then, why were the linguistic states created? Try to find out the answer of these questions. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, bye. Have a nice day.